What do you do when a girl is giving you a lot of shit over text? In this video, we're going to show you how to overcome all her shit tests by breaking down a Tinder layer report with a hot gym girl. So let's take a look at this conversation. So since she works out, he sends her this opener. Why do I feel like our first day will be just us arguing over who can squat more? And you can steal this one for any girl who looks like she goes to the gym. She says, you will definitely win. I'll try to give you a run for your money though. He says, good girl. I like a little competition. So not bad so far. She says, and what about a lot of competition? He says, you can save that for our pillow fights. Now personally, I don't really like this text because it seems a little soft. I would have just said something like even better, like something like short and sweet like that is probably the best way to go. She says, I hope you're not one of the feathered ones or where footprints create a huge mess. So I think it's just a typo. He says, I don't think footprints are the only thing that would make a mess. So he turns into sexual innuendo, which is good. She says, wow, I hate spell check. How does going to turn into footprints? I might have responded here, be like, I guess autocorrect knows that you have a foot fetish or something like that. That would be a good way to kind of make a joke out of it. He says, I think we got the gist of it still. How's your Sunday fun day coming along? Super great. I enjoyed coffee with my beloved friends and took my puppy to get groomed. Oh, puppy, what kind is it? He's a chocolate golden noodle. It almost sounds like an ice cream flavor. He says, oh, hopefully he won't get jealous you found someone else to cuddle with. And this is where the shit tests start to begin. So she says, oh, but I haven't, right? So she's playfully testing him here, right? And what a red pill guy would do in the situation is he would either rage quit the conversation by matching her or sending her a long essay saying how she's going to be a 304 single mother, right? But you don't want to do any of that. A lot of girls will playfully tease you because they want to see how do you respond to that. Are you one of those guys that gets overreactive? Are you one of those guys that's kind of a pussy and starts backing down, apologizing, right? You don't want to make any of those newbie mistakes. So he says, you're right. As soon as you find out if you're qualified from a world-renowned cuddle. So he's got the right idea, but I might have said something even better. I might have said, she says, oh, but I haven't. I would have just said, until now. Like sometimes being short and sweet is the best way to go. But anyway, she says, well, I still need to find out if you can handle my world-renowned sass. So here I might respond something like, yeah, does it come with a world-renowned ass? Like again, you can see my style of humor here. Very short, succinct, and direct, right? He says, the sassier, the better. I enjoy putting girls like you in their place. Now this text is gonna set off a lot of girls. I don't mean in a bad way. I mean, a lot of girls are gonna see this text and they're gonna be like, oh yeah? Well, I'm gonna give them so much shit for that because it's a very like high-risk text. So if you're not good at passing shit tests, don't send a text like that. However, once you overcome all these shit tests, you're gonna be a lot further along than where you started. So let's see how this unfolds. My place is above yours, delightfully laughing at your efforts as you struggle to try taming me. So here she gives him a lot of shit. He says, that's an interesting way of saying pinned to my wall with a fistful of your hair in my hand. So he's doing a pretty good job. He's turning it into something sexual, which is definitely one direction you can go in. She says, you couldn't catch me, much less pin me if you tried. I hope you remember to pack a lunch for the day. I make you wish you had a better skill set. He says, that's the easy part. I could do that with my eyes closed. Difficult part will be figuring out when to stop spanking you and when to start forcing you onto your knees. Now here I might just literally start pinning, like basically reframing the whole thing. I might say something like, oh please, I bet you're one of those girls that's just all talk, right? He's gonna do that later on, but I probably would have done it a little bit earlier on. But anyway, what he does here is totally fine. She says, you can force me to say please for you on your best day. Forcing me onto my knees is a pretty big stretch. You'll be doing anything I say when I'm finished with you. She's like, in your dreams. So okay, so here he does what I mentioned earlier, and look how well it works. I've seen this act before. I'm sure you're all talk. So basically what you do is you flip it back on the girl, right? So instead of her giving you shit, you're giving her shit, right? And this works really well, right? She says, how many times? See, do you see how she completely changed the topic because he changed frames here? He says, enough, then show me. Bam, right? That's a good text to get from a girl. He says, feeling spontaneous? Maybe a little. How far are you from blah, blah, blah? So here's just a little logistics. Then he's like, not too far. Come through and let's have some fun. I would, but it's a school night. So you're all talk after all. Oh, hush, I need my beauty sleep. So then he says, what's a good night this week then? So here's just logistics. She says, either Monday or Friday is open. You'll have to tuck me and read me a bedtime story by 9:30 if you're picking me up tomorrow though. So here they just have logistics. She says, perfect. Is there anything you'd like me to bring? He says, I have plenty of things to entertain us. Just wear something sexy. Good. That's a fine message to send. The only problem with that is some girls will start overthinking what is sexy and they'll spend like like 2 hours getting ready and they'll be late. But that's a little bit of a side note. He says, shoot me a text. My notes on here are weird. So that's good. There's pros and cons to sending a message like that. I typically just ask for the girl's number, because if a girl doesn't actually text you, if she doesn't actually take the initiative, then you're back to where you start and you have to be like, you didn't text me. So what I do, I would probably, if that happened to me, if the girl didn't text me, I would just follow up by saying, don't be shy or something like that, right? But fortunately for him, she texted, right? Which means that she's more invested now. So that's the pro to using the strategy of having the girl text you. He says, hey, sexy, hi, yeah, do you possibly have the capacity to hang out earlier? And here's just honestly logistics. You can see logistics. And then he's like at the door, and then that was fun with a fire emoji, standard PWF. And she says, very fun with a devil emoji. All right, hope you guys found this video valuable. And if you want to find out how good your texting skills are, take our free text game quiz. Link is going to be in the description. Also, we recently launched a mini course which costs literally $5. You can learn more about that also in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time.